Hey, brother teacher again with Big Saul. So we're about to do a drill. I'm going to show you a drill that we do in class. Now, let me let you all in on something. It is important in self-defense to have conditioning. So what I mean by that is it's easy for a person to punch someone who's standing still and not fighting back. But what if someone punches at you and strikes you? Can you take it? Now, we know that probably the most vulnerable part of a human being's body is going to be that facial area, the head, and so forth, because you have little muscle mass in your face area and you have a lot of exposed nerves and vital points in your neck and head area. So, with that said, when a person strikes you in your body, let's say your chest, and it's not a real devastating type of technique and or punch, for example, you should be able to take it. You need to be used to getting hit. So that's why it's very important when you have your solo exercises in karate or martial arts, when you're doing your single things, that you hit targets like a heavy bag or a wave master or even a padded tree, things of this sort, or an air shield, banana shield, and that. Or even punch something while you have gloves on, a bag with the gloves on, so you get used to touching something and using a certain amount of force. But not only you using force against another target, be it mobile or immobile or stationary, you want to be able to receive a punch sometimes too. I know this is not going to fare well with some people because a lot of people are afraid of being touched, but that is where you lose out in the martial arts, because if you can't be touched when you're training in a realistic situation or close to realistic situation, then you're really defeating the whole purpose of learning self-defense and or martial arts, because you're going to be in for a rude awakening in a street confrontation when someone actually hits you and it affects you. And you're going to panic and you're going to have such a state of fear that you're going to give up, and then they're just going to take over and they're going to beat you up for the most part. And that's what the street fighter is looking for. He or she is looking for you to succumb to their will. So what we do, one of our drills is we do stomach drills where we touch each other. And in this particular drill, we're just going to walk through it. This is something that you can do with gloves on, boxing gloves or safety pads and so forth, but do it regardless. So you can start with the punching pads on your hands or the gloves, and you can strike each other in the midsection of the chest and on the side where the kidneys are and so forth, and work your way down to nothing. No gloves, because the people in the street situation are not going to have boxing gloves on punching you in your body. Okay, they're going to be punching you bare knuckle, and you need to be accustomed to being touched. And if you've been touched in class, it won't be such a shock in a real situation or encounter in the street. So please understand that. So with that said, Saul and I'm not going to hurt him and he's not going to hurt me, and you should get to know your partner and what their tolerance is. I won't say for pain, but what their tolerance is for you tapping them or striking them. So we're going to start here where Saul's going to put his hands on my shoulders. And since he can see me, this exercise also is advanced where you have your eyes closed and you have to work from feeling as opposed to seeing your opponent's intention and or attack. In this particular instance, he's going to bend his arms a little bit, and I'm just going to punch him like this, and he's going to breathe out as I'm hitting him. Each time he feels me touching, I'm going to hit him on the side a little bit, like so. Come on, a little bit more. Let it out when I hit you. Tighten up your belly. Stop. And that's me attacking Saul in that area. It lets him get used to being touched. Now, as he advances, we hit a little bit harder, but not as hard as we can, especially with no gloves on, because you do have vital organs, okay? And we have to protect our classmates, all right? So in this particular instance, I'm going to put my hands up and he's going to start touching me. If you notice the body mass, teacher's a little bit thinner, a little bit, just a little bit thinner than Saul, and Saul has a little bit more advantage on me as far as weight and power because of his, by virtue of his stature. So I'm gonna put my hands up here. He's gonna touch me. He's used to doing it. And touch me. Close your fist and hit me like you normally do in class. Hit me a little more. And I'll turn to the side a little more. Go straight like we normally do. Here, hit me hard, Saul. Like that. No rolling now, straight forward, sun fist. Punch, punch, hit me. Here, on this side, in the front, hit me a little harder. Stop rolling your fist. Look, stop. You're gonna go straight, not in this circle. Here, straight forward. Go ahead again. We want to be a good example. I know you're on the novice side. Touch me a little bit more. And you always Hell, when you're being struck, hit me a little more. Hit me. A little more. Teacher can take it. Hit me. Stop. Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that are aspiring martial artists and practitioners of martial arts, and even if you are an advanced to black belt or even master instructor, or wherever you find yourself in the rank or ranking structure, make sure that you constantly train your tools, and never forget, never assume that your opponent can't hit you, and never assume that your opponent is going to be the one on the receiving end, only because you might come up against some people in the street confrontation that's actually really good fighters, and you need to be prepared to take a hit. So this is Brother Teacher, and this is my illustrious student Saul again. You see the height difference and so forth. As I've said in time past, you can't pick and choose who your opponent is going to be in a street confrontation, but you must be ready. And the only way to be ready is through repetition of your training. This is Teacher and Saul. You take care. We're out of here. So long.